talk a little bit about Bitcoin. Do you still wake up and say, why am I so stupid? And wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning? Why didn't I buy more? Or
I always wake up at 3 a.m. And
well,
I always feel
literally
stupid about something.
Yeah.
But now it's not Bitcoin anymore.
It's not.
I don't know what to think about Bitcoin anymore. The one thing I was wondering with Bitcoin is there was a time when there were very few IPOs. Part of it is I think the public markets are a little bit broken with so many index funds and stuff. Everybody thinks the same, thus nobody really wants, new IPOs. I wonder if Bitcoin was a little bit sort of the off-ramp for everybody that wants to have something a little bit more speculative.
Yeah.
Now that we have these big IPOs on one side, and then we have stablecoin on the other, and stablecoin involves the word stable. So if you really want to just put your money offshore, put your money in a new system, you can go through stablecoins. Frankly, stablecoins more or less are already paying interest. I don't think they really are, but there's schemes where you get these like rewards and stuff like that. So if you want just the stablecoin, you can. There's fabulous IPOs coming out. There's SpaceX, there's going to be some AI. And I just wonder where is Bitcoin now? And the purpose of Bitcoin and a little bit what you need to believe is almost this maximalist view about Bitcoin. Like when I speak to people about Bitcoin, it's a bit like a cult. You're either in or you're not. So that's just my new thoughts on Bitcoin. So I'm a little bit more worried, and I would rather bet on, is space going to quadruple over the next 20 years? Or these intelligence models going to be, like if you think today the market cap of the world is 70 trillion, of the US, 60 to 70, let's say maybe it's 130, 140, in 10 years it could be, let's say, 200 plus. Is there going to be a $10 trillion company in 10 to 15 years? I find that debate and trying to figure out which of those companies might be a $10 trillion company sort of easier for me than figuring out where's Bitcoin going to be in 10 years.
So what's the answer to that question? Is there going to be a $10
I think there is.
Company?
I think yes. I think like today, NVIDIA is what, 5, 4.5, 5, let's say 4, keep it simple. And the market cap of the US is 60. And let's say the market cap of the world is 120. So a large company can represent 6 or 7% of the US and maybe 3-4% of the world. So in the future, could a company be worth 5% of the world? No, that would be 10 trillion. In essence, if the world someday in 10 years or so gets to 200 trillion, and which one could it be? Could be one of the existing ones, could be one of the new ones, which is sort of fun because the Mag 7 is sort of changing in front of our eyes, right? It's really no longer quite the same. First, I think it's more like Mag 11, Mag 12. If you think that the Mag is every company over $1 trillion, so you've got 11 or 12, I think Berkshire, Eli Lilly, there's a couple non-tech ones, but you've got TSM, Broadcom, you've got a few others. I think in the future, there's a good chance that OpenAI and Anthropic could be there, SpaceX could be there, maybe there'll be another space asset, who knows, maybe Blue Origin or something like that could turn out to be a second very large company in space. So I find what's fun for me and what keeps me going is to imagine sort of this index of the future and who's going to be in that index of the future. And if you can do that and sort of stomach the daily volatility like today, then you should be able to do well.
You said 5 great ideas. We didn't get all 5, but I know you have maybe a future one right now in agentic AI, and you've even referred to it as almost a Big Bang moment, right? Is that one of them?
I have found in thinking about Anthropic in particular, and OpenAI is doing equally well. Sometimes Anthropic does a little bit better. Maybe like now, I'm convinced that at some point OpenAI will do a bit better. Then it will be Anthropic. To me, the 2 key questions on the models is, one, there's this view that somehow models are going to be free, that you have these open source and this intelligence is going to be free. I don't think so. I think people are going to want to sort of do business with the best models in the world. And also you could have the best model that's expensive, but you could have the Anthropic model from 3 years ago that's like super cheap. So Anthropic could both be cheap and not. With respect to these models, all the stuff around agents and the ability to have thousands of people working for you, that sounds like one of the bigger ideas, at least in my investment career. this concept that you sort of go to bed at night, there's 1,000 people working for you, and you got all this work done and ready for you the next day. It's a new way of working. I'm having a hard time. I'm still like scribbling on a piece of paper, my notes and stuff like that. But I see people even in our own office, the way they come up with new ideas and the productivity they get from AI. It's really there, and it's still moving quickly.
So, and you would participate in that the way that you are already.
I think through Anthropic, through OpenAI, and I also think, and it's a bit of a shame, like, why are these companies not public earlier? And why isn't it that retail and small investors can't get access to them earlier? And
I was going to ask you about that, because you still have some nice fees with but you've opened up. Why did you do that? You didn't need to bring in retail people to participate with your genius.
Correct. Our business has sort of been mostly an institutional business. Basically, there's laws that private companies, shorts, hedge funds, you have to be more or less a accredited or institutional investor.
Right.
Because there's more risk. And so with more risk, you're supposed to have more financial literacy. First of all, I find that offending. Why is it that we think that institutions are more financially literate, maybe than retail investors? I'm not sure that's true. I believe in the wisdom of the crowd. But there's things such as leverage and stuff. I think that's changing. I think the current administration is improving this. So for us, we started this new fund that basically allows us to offer publics and privates with some restrictions. And I do think that in the future, and this is one of the reasons why private markets are so big, private markets in debt became very big precisely because, in my mind, the public markets in debt, they were too dumb, too simple. Oh, if you're not AAA, I'm not lending to you. Mm-hmm. Great. People found an opportunity. Private market in tech is going to be the same. Hey, if the IPO and the world is dominated by these indices that all think the same and sort of have abdicated their intellectual property to others that create the weights for them, hey, well, then there's going to be a private market. Private market today is probably 5 or so trillion. Public markets are, let's say, 60. A private market in tech, still a big market.
So why? And off camera, I said, can I participate in one of these retail funds? And that's A. And B, will you lend me the money up front so I am able to participate?
The answer to the second show, I already tell you, is a definite no. We don't lend money to anybody. That's not our business.
Think if you would.
Especially you.
Joe, if you were an investor, you wouldn't ask me all these tough questions.
Is this altruism, though, that do it? Or
no, not at all.
But you also get
great
12.5%.
It's a great business opportunity for you. You get lower fees. You get longer dated capital. To me, the longer dated capital is very, very important because I'm trying to figure out the index of the future 10 years out.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
So
that's why.
You need the funds
and at the end of the day, $1 of long dated capital might be worth $3 of that can leave in any given quarter.
Sure.
So from an economic viewpoint.
If you found value in this breakdown, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with other investors who are paying attention. We're here to keep bringing you sharp analysis and voices that understand what's unfolding. Thanks for watching.